Howdy everyone, this is Tricia and welcome to my channel. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Isn't that cute? Isn't that cute? I wish I had videotaped in there. All right, howdy everyone. Forgive me, I am late to post this Tuesday. I have had supplies to create a Valentine's Day item for you, but this little sickness that I have just seems to keep coming back even though I think I get rid of it. Forgive the little noises in the background. That is my little kitty. Please forgive my voice. I do tend to start coughing after a little bit, so there might be a lot of editing in this video. All right, let me go ahead and show you the supplies. We are going to be making a Valentine's Day heart-shaped wreath. Now this is going to be for my sister-in-law, so she's gone ahead and purchased some items from the Dollar Tree because we love going to the Dollar Tree and challenging ourselves to finding great items to create crafts. And we found this beautiful heart-shaped wreath ring. It doesn't have a size on here, it doesn't specify, but I will give you an idea of what size it is by doing a quick measure. This is about 13 inches in height. And across it's about the same, about 13 by 13. So that's about the size that it is so that you can have an idea of what I'm working with here. We've also got some, let me compare this. This was $1 from the Dollar Tree. And previous to that, because we went to Hobby Lobby right before we went to the Dollar Tree, and I got myself a heart-shaped wire wreath here. As you can see, there's a ring here. And look at them compared to each other. This was $3.49, which is not bad because I actually used a 40% off coupon, so I think I paid like $2 for it or so. It wasn't even that much. And let's see, this one is a 12 by about 12, so it's just an inch shy of the Dollar Tree one. So here's a comparison. And they're both awesome to use. It doesn't really matter. It just depends on what you can find. So you might want to go quickly to Dollar Tree because, you know, things just disappear. And I believe that they have these at Hobby Lobby all year round because they were in the floral department. They weren't in the Valentine's Day, you know, seasonal items. Okay, so that's all about that this ring. And she's also gotten some ribbons here, and she got 6 ribbons. This was probably the favorite one, so we picked 2 of that one, and then we picked 4 coordinating ribbons. These are 3 yards each, obviously $1 from the Dollar Tree. They're 5/8 inch wide. They do have a wider ribbons that you could use, but because we were working with something small, we decided that this would be cute, so we picked those. And then she picked this bouquet of roses. And there's 4 roses on here, and it has these 2 little hearts on here, and these are covered with bugle beads, and they're really shiny and really pretty, so we're going to go ahead and use that. Now it had this one little speck of these little white bits here, and I really like those. So let's talk about the items that I already had, which are from the Dollar Tree. I really like these, but it's not very much. But I happen to have some leftover from a bush that I got at the Dollar Tree. And these are the little leftover branches from the bush that I bought. It was probably about 3 or 4 little branches of this particular, it looks like baby's breath almost, but it's on the label it said gypsophilia. So that's what it was called. And I have this left over. Long story short, I'm going to use this instead of the one on here because it doesn't really match. So I'm just going to go ahead and use these. Also, something that I have that I want to incorporate into the wreath to make it fuller, because she was going to buy some thicker ribbon, which you can do. You can buy that, I think it's 2.5 inch wide ribbon. They do have it in Valentine patterns or solids. You could buy that, but I remember that I had some decorative mesh here at home that I got during the Christmas holiday, and I had this left over. And you can find decorative mesh right now also at the Dollar Tree. And I happen to have this red. It's got some silver in there, but I think it'll be fine because it kind of goes with the white. And so I'm going to use this. So here we go. These are the supplies that I'm going to use. I'm also going to be using some chenille stems, and I have some chenille stems here that I'm going to be cutting into little pieces. So you will need that. You will need something to measure to cut your ribbon and your mesh. We need scissors to cut. I may be doing a bow. I'm not really sure, but if I do, I'm going to be using floral wire and my wire cutters. And I'm going to be using my glue gun with some glue sticks. So those are the tools that you will need to create this. So we're going to start off, oops, I'm going to move things out of the way. And I need my wire mesh wreath here. Ring. I just want to say wreath. We're going to take off all the labels on all our products and we're going to go ahead and get them ready. I'm going to unwrap everything and I'll be back. All right, so I've gone ahead and I've cut up quite a bit of these little ribbons, and I've taken my rolls and I've decided to cut 6-inch strips of ribbon, and I've been able to cut 18 from each roll, so altogether I have 54 because I've already cut 3. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the same with the other 3 rolls that I have. Now when I've cut this, I actually had these little bits left over, so I know that the rolls do have 3 yards in each of them. Sometimes you get a roll and it's shy of what it says it's supposed to have, and usually it's almost exactly, but this time they had a little bit left over, and I feel like this one's long enough, so I may use that one. I don't know, these little bits are kind of small, but they're cute, and I'm going to save them because, I don't know, I may use them. Okay, so I have these here, and I'm going to go ahead and cut these now. And all I've done is I've stacked the 3 of them together. And I'll start off by cutting a little angle on the ends, because that's just how I like all my ribbon to have, a little bit of a angle cut. You don't have to do that. You can leave them flat. That's up to you, whichever is easier for you. And all I'm doing is measuring up to 6 inches from that outer point. I'm not measuring from the inside, but from the outer point. 6 inches, and wherever 6 inches is, I cut from there inward. So there's my little pieces there. So now I'm going to cut 18 of these little pieces. So altogether I'll have 54. So altogether that's what? 108 pieces. All right, so let me get to cutting and I will be back because I don't think you want to see all of that. All right, I'm here cutting 17 and then 18, and as you can see I had some left over, but I'm going to put them to the side because I'm not sure I'm going to use them, but I'm still going to go ahead and cut them because I'm not sure if I actually counted correctly, so I'll have them ready just in case I need them. Excuse me. All right, so I've cut these now. If you're asking why I chose to do 6-inch, it's just that it's a small wreath that I'm going to be creating, so I don't need them to be too long. Normally you would cut these little ribbons if you're going to use these wire rings to create a wreath. You'll cut them either sometimes 8 inches at the least, or 10-inch to 12-inch strips of ribbon. So if you're using a larger, maybe a round shaped, and you want to create the same idea, just cut these bigger so that they're fuller. They'll make your wreath seem bigger, if you will. So anyway, these are my little ribbon strips, and I'm going to put them to the side. And now I'm going to go ahead and cut mesh. Excuse me. And I'm going to be cutting that the same 6-inch. So let me go ahead and do that. All right, so I've been cutting up my mesh again in 6-inch pieces. Now the roll of mesh was a 6-inch wide by 5 yards. So I'm cutting 18 pieces, which means I'm cutting up 3 yards of that. If this was 6 yards, then I'd go ahead and cut double, which is 36, or if I had another roll, and I do have another roll, it just doesn't have the silver, it's just red with a red metallic. Now if I feel like I have to pull it out, I will, but I'm going to try and make it with just one roll so that it's less materials that we're using. Now this is approximately costing, I had 6 rolls of ribbon, so that's 6, 7, 8 with the metal ring, 9 with the bush of flowers. So I have bought $9 worth of supplies from the Dollar Tree, not to mention the chenille stamps. Now the bag of chenille stamps are available there at the Dollar Tree as well. That would be $10 that you spend if you don't already have chenille stamps. But again, the chenille stamps do go a long way to use on another project. So that's like cents that you'll be using from that. I lost count. I think I had 15. That's 16. I need 2 more just to make sure. 17 And I'm just cutting it here. Okay, now, if I was doing a bigger wreath, these little mesh bits that I'd be cutting, the least I'd be cutting would be at 8 inches, just like the ribbon. The least length would be about 8 inches, but I would cut 10, maybe even 12 inch. But normally I end up cutting these at 10 inch, which is a 6 by 10 to use on the metal ring to fill them up. And I usually cut double what I think will go around on here. So like I said, I've only cut 18 for now. Now the next thing to do is to prepare our mesh ring with some chenille stems, because we're going to be attaching these items, the mesh fabric and the ribbon, to our wreath. And in order to attach them, that's where our chenille stems come in handy. Now these are 12-inch bits, so I'm just going to cut them in half. So I'll have 6-inch pieces, and I want to have 18, so I'm going to cut 9 of these in half. So I've got 5, 7, and then 9 right here. So I'm going to cut them in half, and then we'll start putting them on our wreath, on a wire holder here. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so here are the little bits of chenille stems that I've cut, and I've got 18, so I'm going to take and apply these to my wreath, and I'm going to go into the inner ring and just twist it twice, just to hold it there. That's all I'm going to do. And then I'm going to go into the outer ring as well and twist it twice, and then just leave it there. And now I'm going to go ahead and apply 8 more on the outside and 8 more on the inside ring. If you want and have more material, you can go ahead and go into your middle one here and we'll see how it goes. And then I'll let you know if I had to go into the inner ring to also add. So let's keep in mind these measurements and these quantities that I've given you. Now we may change this later as we go along. We're both learning. We're both finding out what we need to do to fill out this heart ring. I'm going to take a quick little break, and we'll be back. All right, I've gone ahead and put chenille stems all the way around on my wreath. Now I've gotten 10 of these on the outer ring, and I've got 8 of them on the inside. I may end up changing these to the middle one. I'm not really sure. You know what? I can't even remember how I did this before. Now maybe I'm having some sort of a brain freeze. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and take the mesh, and we're going to grab it from the corners and just kind of pinch it, and just pinch it in the middle, and then open one of these up. Let's grab this one here on the bottom, and we're just going to put that in there, and then just again twist it a couple of times and just leave it alone for now. Now this is one way to do it, is to pinch it the way that I did, or you could just take it as is and see how it kind of wants to roll in, and then just kind of do this number where you roll it in, and I kind of like this. Make a little curl like that, and then again open your chenille stem right in the middle, and then just pinch it, and there you've got this little tube kind of going around it. Okay, so that's something you can do. I'm going to go ahead and take this one also as well off, because I do like this little curly bit, and I wanted you to see the 2 ways that you can put these on here. But I'm not liking the way this just seems to be opening, just flat. And I know why. Because when you do this, instead of pulling it like this, you're supposed to do it like face it down and then pull on it and then do that. And it's supposed to help it curl. But I'm going to do the little curly bit where you roll it up, and then we'll put it in there and just tie it like that. Don't tie it too many times, because you will be undoing it, because we will be adding a ribbon in between inside of these little mesh bits. So don't completely knot them up or trim them off. Leave them long for now. We'll trim them at the end if we need to, or we can curl the little ends. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and fill them up with all of these and see if I need more. If not, I'll go ahead and leave it like that. right, as you can see, well, maybe you can't, but I've gone ahead and I've moved the chenille stems that were on the inner ring. I've gone and moved them to the middle. So I'm now putting the last curly bit of mesh onto there, and this is what I have so far. I feel like I could use a little bit more coverage, and as you can see, now the middle is bare. So I'm going to go ahead and add some more of this mesh. I'm going to see how much more I can cut from the roll. Again, I had 5 yards, so I'm going to go ahead and see how much more I can cut. So let's get ahead and do that. And of course, I will be back. All right, I've gone ahead and I've cut 12 more. I had a little bit left over here, but I've decided to stop at 12. And the reason for that is that I'm going to put 8 of them. I'm trying to get 8 of them, so 4 on this side and then 4 on this side on the inner ring. And then on the outer rings, I'm going to separate. There's 4 sections, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to separate 2 of them, and right between each, I'm going to put 1 in each of these 4 sections. So that'll be that's 4 actually. So then what I'll do is I'll do the same thing to the middle. That'll be another 4. That's 8 on the outside and 4 on the inside. So let's go ahead and do that. I've gone ahead and I've cut up some chenille stems. I didn't cut 12, I cut 8, but I'm going to go ahead and cut some more in a minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this first section here, put a chenille stem in there. Excuse me. Let's curl this guy up. Put 1 in there. Tie it up just a couple of times. Don't twist it up too much. And then I'm going to go to the middle ring and separate the 2 that I have there. So then right in the middle of those 2, I'm going to put another chenille stem. Roll this up. And then open the chenille stem, and again, a couple of twists. The reason that I'm doing a couple of twists is because if I only do 1, it might just, you know, pop open on me. So I do a couple of twists to make sure that it's holding it, and I don't twist it any more than that, so it's easy to untwist it when I want to add some of that ribbon. Okay, so I've done that to this section, and I'm going to go ahead and do that to this one here, the 3rd and the 4th, and then I'm going to put 4 on the inside, and I shall be back. All right, here's my wreath, and I've gone ahead and I filled it up. So I cut 18 to begin with, and then I cut another 12, so I had 30. And I've gone ahead and I've done what I said. I've gone into the 4 sections on the outside and added 1 more, and then the 4 sections on the inside, added 1 more, so that was 8. And then on the inside, I've added 4, so that makes the 12 extra that I cut. But I have this little bit here, and I did have a little bit of this mesh left over on the roll. It doesn't look very attractive, but it is curly, and I do need it to curl anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and use this last bit and a chenille stem, and I'm going to go ahead and put that on the inside little peak here of the heart and put that right on there. Now, if you're looking at this and you're thinking, well, gosh, it still looks really bare. I can see the wire. You can push these together a little bit more, squish them together. If you have to lift them from their spot, go right ahead, which is kind of what I'm going to do, because what I am going to be doing is a section of this. I am going to be putting those flowers, these little flowers, and they will cover up a bald spot. So what I want is to decide, where do I want these flowers? And I think I want them, I don't want them in the middle on the top, and I don't want them in the middle on the bottom, but I kind of want them off to the side at the top. So here now I can move these little chenille bits and just kind of move them around a bit. I am going to be, that's my kitty cat on the counter here. He wants to take my things because he sees me moving things around. Anyway, kitty, come on. You need to go. You can't be here. There he is, little Flintstone. Now, the way that I've decided to do this is because I have 30 of these mesh little bits here, 30 chenille stems to tie stuff in. Excuse me. I had 6 rolls, but 2 of the rolls were of the same ribbon, and out of each roll I cut 18 pieces. So I have 36 here, so that I know that I have at least 1 of these for 1 of these in here. So I'm going to take 30 of my gingham, and if you want to do it this way, maybe it's easier for you. to do one ribbon at a time and start putting them into your, excuse me, I'm going to cough, into your chenille stem. You go right ahead. So, because I know that I have at least 30, I have 36, but I'm going to use 30, like I said. I'm going to take, here I've got my gingham, and I've got 4 different designs of a ribbon, which are these, aside from the gingham. I'm just going to give you an example. All of my mesh bits are going to have one of this because I bought 2 rolls of the same one. So if you happen to do that, just follow the same, otherwise just alternate. So I'm going to use one of these and one of the 4 in each. I'll grab another one, do that, and the next one next to it, and so forth and so on. And then I'll get 4 more of each of these different ribbons, and then I'll start alternating again with the gingham. If that made any sense, that is what I'm doing with mine. So if you want to follow that, I've done the love, I've done the heart. I'm going to go ahead and do the little arrow and the gingham ribbon, and I'm just going to push that over to the side so I can see what's next here, and just go ahead and put that right in there. And then this time I'm going to make sure I twist it up nice and tight. And now the next one, and I've already used 3 designs here, so the other one is this one with the little hearts, and push that in and put that in there. Now, just to kind of keep things sort of evenly alternated, I'm going to start with the I love you, then the hearts, and then next I used the arrow, and then the next I used my little red hearts. So if you want to do it that way, a little bit at a time, so you can sort out your ribbons, you can do that, and just make sure that they're evenly spread out through your wreath. So I'm going to continue filling in all of these with my ribbon, and I will be back. All right, I'm back, and I've added all the ribbon bits that I had cut, and then of course you saw me putting 2 on each one as I went around, and I alternated the ribbons so that I didn't have 2 of the same kind of next to each other. But then I still had some left over, so then I went ahead and I put 3 in each one. So I was able to put on the outer edge 3, the middle ring 3, and then the inner ring also has 3 bits of a ribbon on top of the little bit of mesh that I have also added in each one. So that's 30, obviously, of the mesh. So then I've got 4, I had 30, I used 30 of the gingham, and then I had these other ones which I used 30 of each, so that was another 90, and therefore that's what I ended up using. That's how much ribbon I ended up using. I can still see a little bit of the wire, but it doesn't really bug me. So now what I've done is I've also moved over my loops a little bit, and some of the loops that were mainly, this is the top of the heart right here. And I want to put some flowers on this side, so this is why you're seeing a bare part. So what I've done is I've moved them over a bit, and then I've also moved these over. I don't want these too tight over here. Let's spread them out. And then what I've done is some of the ones that were on the outer edge, what I did is I moved them in this way. So I've retied them further in. I didn't grab the one from the edge and then move it in. What I did is I moved each one over, and I just moved a couple over and a couple over, so that then I could have this little bare spot over here. And this is where I'm going to add the flowers that I have. And I think that's going to make a really pretty wreath. And so now what I've been doing also is on, oh yes, I did 3 rows, but then on the very outer row, I still had some ribbon. So I actually did 4 bits of ribbon on the very outer edge of the ring, the last outer ring on the outside here, okay? So then I've also gone and I've been curling the little chenille stems. So you could cut them off, you twist them off real nice and tight, make sure that it's not gonna come apart, and then you could trim them. But what I've done is I've curled them and just given the loops here, my little filling here, just another dimension to it. Now, what I've been using is a pencil, and just wrapping from the edge and then just rolling down and then just pulling out the pencil, and then you have a little curl right there. And you see that, a little curl? So just grab that, grab it from the edge, and then roll it down, and then just pull out the pencil, and there you have another little loop. So that's what you're gonna do. You could do it with your fingers if you feel like you can just roll them a little bit better or just a little different, you could use your fingers and just kind of roll them into like little antenna-like little bits, or I don't know, shape them into little hearts, whatever you want to do with these. So anyway, so after you've done all that, you're going to figure that you have a lot of these little bits, and I've already actually cleaned the table quite a few times with these little strings that keep coming off from all that handling. So all you have to do is go in and just trim them, the ones that are sticking out. You know, clean up your wreath a little bit by doing that. Here we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these flowers and this ball spot that I have here, I'm going to glue them on, and you're probably wondering, well, heck, where are you going to glue them on? There's just wire there. Well, I could also take some floral wire and wire them on. So let's do some of that. I'm going to take these roses first, and I think I want to put one here on the outside, but I'm going to bend it a little bit like that. Okay, I bent the little stick on it. Now I cut them off from the bush, and I didn't know if I was going to use the whole stem, or meaning like 2 inches of stem, or if I wasn't going to need any stem at all. So I went ahead and I cut 2. You could cut a little bit more if you're not sure. And I'm going to go ahead and wire this on. I could just hot glue it on as well. What I can do is I have one of my little silicone pads. I can place it underneath, and I could just glue these on. And by doing that, the glue that drips onto the silicone pad is easy to remove. But I'm going to go ahead and wire it on. I cut a little piece of wire here, and I'm just going to take it and start rolling it around the stem and the wire on the wreath, and then just twist where that beginning part of the wire started, and then just continue rolling around till I get the end of that wire all the way around the stem. Just wrapped it around. It's not a very attractive way, but that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to take some hot glue, and I'm just going to put here and there on the wire. So I've just put some hot glue right in there to make it stick, and I bend it to make sure that it's facing upward. There we go. I'm going to do a second one, and I'm going to go into the middle wire bit. There we go. I've got 1, 2, 3 rows of wire, so I'm going to go to the middle one now. This one got tied onto this outer one, so I'm going to wire the second flower to the inner one here. Another piece of wire. Now, I could take a little piece of styrofoam and just cut a piece and wire it into the back here, so that all I had to do was just stuff those flowers in there. Or I could just put more mesh and more ribbon and not have to put any flowers at all. But I want to put the flowers on there because my sister-in-law got these, and I believe she's going to go put this on her lovely mother, on her grave. So I believe that's what she wants to do with this wreath. I'm not really sure, but I want to make this pretty for her, and she did buy these flowers, so I want to make sure that I get them on there. And this should have been done. This should have been done Saturday or Sunday ago, so this video would have been on here at midnight or right after midnight, so then it's Tuesday, and y'all would have this video ready. But alas, this nasty cough got to me, and it just cleared out a little bit, so that's why I went ahead and I said, let's do this video now. So now I'm just moving over the little mesh here to cover this little area where you could see the wire, and I'm just moving that one over also as well. What I'm going to do is, because I do have 4 flowers, I'm going to go ahead and put another one on the outer edge. I'm not going to put one on the inside. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to push this flower in and angle it, and I'm going to take this 4th one. So I'm going to just push this back, and I'm going to put the 4th one on the outer edge. So I got 2 on the outer edge and 1 on the inner. Again, I'm going to bend the stem at an angle. Another piece of, I'm kind of winging this, people. So if you're wondering what the heck, she started saying one thing and then she's doing another. I kind of do that a lot in my videos because I change my mind, or I don't really know exactly where I'm going with it. I have the idea in my head. Now, I've done floral design for a very long time, but these type of little projects are not something that is a pattern already in my head. So I kind of have to figure it out as I go along. And so I changed things, but this is a way for you to learn, okay, I could have done it that other way, but now here's another way to do it. So here's where you can see the different ways and how my brain works, and decide what will work best for you. Okay, let's move these up now. And there we go. That looks really pretty in there. The little flowers on the side. I just got my finger in the glue. Ha! Okay, so I'm going to move this mesh over. I'm going to bend the flower just a little bit. And there we go. There's our flowers. Now I did have these little hearts, and I do have this fourth flower. So this fourth flower, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to insert it, but I'm going to glue it so that it sticks to these two flowers. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on here on the petal and a little bit of glue on this other one, and let them kind of stick together like that. Okay, so just a little bit of glue right there, little dot. Get that leaf to stick to it. On the other one on this side, on the leaf, get a petal to stick to that one. There we go. And it's also kind of sticking to the glue that's down at the bottom down here where it's dripping a little bit, and that's okay. And just bring out the mesh. That looks really pretty. All right, so then we also have these little hearts, and I'm also going to put them there. I'm going to take those leaves off and the stem off, and I'm just going to put some glue on the bottom part here and let it capture some of that bit of leaf that's under this middle rose here, wherever you want. Just, it can catch onto the mesh. Just put plenty of glue, and I've got my silicone pad underneath, so it'll catch any glue that drips down. So try not to slide your finger under there like I did. And there you can see the little red heart in there. I've got another one, and I've decided that I want to put that one underneath here. Again, so I'm just going to remove the stem. And it just got that one little bit sticking out, and I'm going to put plenty of glue on that. All right, and then stick that to the flower from underneath on this side. Okay. I'm going to leave it for a little bit, and then I'm going to take these little bits here and just cut little pieces like so. Excuse me. And just put a little bit of glue on them and just stick them wherever you want around the flowers. And I'm putting it so that it glues onto the petals of the flowers. I'm just going to slide it in there, just tuck it in and glue it down. I got more of these, so I can put more. I'm going to put one on this heart right here in the middle, just so it highlights between the flowers and it kind of separates them a little bit. And let's get a little bit more on here. Without that one. These. Here we go. And one more, a little bit. It's up to you how much you want to put on there. If you want to put a lot more flowers, you can buy more bushes and actually go ahead and tuck them between all these little mesh bits. I think that looks really pretty, just like that. I'm going to go ahead and hang it on the wall. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of chenille stem on the back to make a little loop on the back wire in the middle, right here of the heart. I'm just going to take a piece of chenille, and I know I had one left over. Here we go. I have one left over, and I'm going to make I'm going to tie it around first, and then I'm just going to make a loop and just twist this like so, so that we have a loop, something that we can hang, maybe a tack or something on the wall, or if you have a wreath hanger, make this loop big enough so that the wreath hanger can slip through it like that. So just make it wide, and the wreath hanger will slide through there. Or you could use the actual wire from here, but I like to put a little loop because I don't know who's hanging it, I don't know how they're hanging it, and the little loop kind of helps it keep it from moving around, you know, sideways and so forth, because I mean, you know, this will just keep it in one place. It'll help. Okay, so now I'm just going to trim off again any of these little strings of mesh that I don't like all over the place, and that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and hang this on the wall so you can see what it looks like. All right, here is the wreath hanging on the wall. You can see some of the wire underneath, so This is where you're going to decide that maybe you want to use a lot more mesh, or you probably want to do 2 rolls of mesh rather than just 1, or maybe some tulle instead of mesh, and fill up your wreath even more and make it real nice and full and fluffy, or maybe just add more flowers to your wreath. But I think it looks really pretty. It's really lovely. I'm going to let my sister-in-law decide if she wants to fill it up some more. It's kind of losing its heart shape, so I'm just going to move around the little mesh bits a little bit and make it a little nicer. So you want to go ahead and just make sure you do that, is fluff everything up and make sure that everything is forward and it's not hiding behind. And the little loop that I put in the top, the little chenille stem, I went ahead and I also hot glued it in place so it wouldn't slide around on me. But that's it. I hope you like this little wreath tutorial. I hope that you will follow some of my instructions and just fill it up a little bit more. Make it your own, and this will be a great gift as well. I like all my projects that I do to be able to be given as gifts, you know, to someone special, or, you know, just because you want to say thank you for something. And yeah, that's it. So please leave a nice comment down below. Give me a big old thumbs up. I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and share on your social medias. It's very important that you do that for me, and I really appreciate it. So as always, enjoy.